So there I was, all excited and jacked up with my giant hammer and badass T-Mog to go put the hurt on some undead shits that had been prowling around Gilneas or whatever. So imagine my surprise when I find out that not only are we not going to fight the undead, but we've united with them to go purge our brothers and sisters of the Scarlet Crusade, with whom I greatly agree that we should be wiping off all the undead off of Azeroth. And this, we're friends with the Hordies, is so peculiar, because you'll remember the Hordies, right? The ones who burned down the World Tree and committed genocide. I mean, even the Horde Druids were involved in service to their Banshee Queen, those Hordies. But they're really sorry, and so we forgive them, and now we're all friends. My God, what happened to you, Hordies? I used to have some respect. We shouldn't even call them Hordies anymore. Let's just call them our sweeties, now that we're all sweet on each other. Because I don't want to disrespect the old school Horde. See, there's this spectrum of hate where we actually love each other in the end. The hate gets so hot for the Hordies that I actually kind of respect the ones that feel like I do. I'm not going to insult the Hordies I came up on, and they earned my respect with these new little soft pussy Horde. I mean, it's just embarrassing. How are you all not embarrassed? I have no idea. I would be outraged. And the Forsaken. I mean, they ruined the Forsaken. They started by ruining Sylvanas. She was such a badass character, and that voice. Oh. And now, you know, she got the axe through some bad writing. And they basically turned the Scourge into the Skeleton Alliance. Now they got their sweet little queen. It's okay. We're going to make up for our deeds of the past. Ah, God. I had so much respect for the ones that were like, you know what? Shit happened to us, and now shit's going to happen to you. Shout out to all the undead rogues in STV that I came up with that were proud to be Forsaken, and they didn't need an alliance or anything. They served the Dark Lady. I had mad respect for those motherfuckers. And so the Sweeties and the Skeleton Alliance and I went and killed the last true paladins left on Azeroth. And you take that whole experience and you ramp it up with a holy Stay Puff and a whole bunch of daddy issues. To my man, Jack the Real, who said that my disappointment will be off the charts, my brother, you are a prophet. My disappointment would have to rally to be off the charts. So now I'm out here fishing, trying to calm myself down. It's just not been a good week for me. Here's some other shit that happened. Look, I went into solo shuffle, popped up to 2015 and then dropped back down to 1848. Now, I swear to God, this sounds like an excuse, but can some other paladin, if this happens to anyone else, please leave it in the comments. Because I was trying to explain, dude, I hit my daybreak, right? I got my thing up, hit my daybreak, and I'd see these charges, but when I would hit Holy Shock, it wouldn't give me the extra burst. It would only give me one charge of Holy Shock, and it would just sit here at 3 charges. That happened to me. And I reloaded UI and everything, trying to get it to work. And in the end, I went 0-6. And really, I should have been able to win a couple even without that cooldown. But I think I was just so focused and panicked about my cooldown not working. And I was like, God, is this a UI or something? And I was like, it's just me. But anyway, we didn't have a good week, a solo shuffle. And that's okay. I mean, what are we at on the season here? I have 468 rounds played. And so that sucked. But, you know, you throw the rating on the Barbie. That wasn't losing the rating isn't the bad part. It's having to deal with all the assholes that don't have the emotional maturity to handle a video game loss. It's like we raised a generation of man-children. It's just crazy. Back in my day, you'd have to go across town in a school bus, right? And you'd get off and the other team would smash you in the first quarter, 28 points. And guess what? You had to play the other 3 quarters getting your ass kicked. And then at the end of that, 2 hours later, you had to walk across the field and say, good game. And then you had to go get back on the bus, drive all the way back to your school while your coach was like, you motherfuckers are going to die on Monday for this performance, right? Okay, there was no FF15 when I came up. But in the end, I think it was kind of good for us because when I watch how some of these adult males conduct themselves, it's crazy. And they come flaming me, and I'm like, dude, grow up. And they're like, no, I don't want to grow up. I want you not to suck. And it's like, bro, I play 468 rounds a season. I fill my vault up. And it's not my fault that Blizzard forces us into cooldown trading mode. And that's kind of what I want to talk about for a little bit. Let's talk about cooldown trading mode. Okay, what do we know about cooldown trading mode? Well, we know it's full of people who love to trade cooldowns. I mean, they love to trade cooldowns. They like to track their cooldowns. They like to track their teammates' cooldowns. They like to track the other team's cooldowns. And then they come into my channel and say, you need to download more add-ons like Battleground Targets so you can track the other team's cooldowns. But my argument has always been what? You shouldn't have to track other people's cooldowns. And there's plenty of other games I play that are a lot of fun that don't require me to keep track of the other team's cooldowns. I understand that there's a ton of people that absolutely get their rocks off tracking cooldowns. And they do it night after night after night after night after night. They can't get enough of it. And when one of their ults gets up, they make another one. And then they make another one. And they make another one. And they just keep tracking cooldowns. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with having that kind of passion. But I think there's a lot of people that actually don't really enjoy this game mode. And to be quite frank, I don't super enjoy it either. There's too many people that care way too much about this number that they just ruin it. And it's not fair to either party. It's not fair to people like me who just want to come in here and do random and epics. And it's not fair to the cooldown traders who on their forums and Discord communities have little special flares and titles about how good of a cooldown trader they are. And that's fine. But what have I said? You have to unshackle your casual community away from your cooldown traders. Okay, just call this what it is. Stop calling it rated. Call it cooldown tracking mode. And I don't understand why you force people to come play with these guys that care so much about cooldown trading when all we want to do is fill up our vault so that we're not behind everybody else, so that I can get the best gear to compete in these modes. This is what I like right here. Randoms and epics. I mean, I don't even understand the point of Battleground Blitz if you can't farm your vault in it. But I'll take any mode other than cooldown trading mode. Truly. Any one of these, just make it so that you can fill your vault. Hey, you can double this. You could make this 2,500, 5,000, 7,500. If I can do it in these modes, I'll definitely fill it up. 100%. And I'm paying my $15 a month too. These guys are never going to stop doing this. You can just throw them a reskinned mount, give them another, call it Super Gladiator. And then the next season you call it Super Duper Gladiator. And then the next season you can call it Super Duper Super Gladiator. And they'll keep doing it because they love to trade cooldowns. Just let them have it. But for those of us who just want to do your battlegrounds and epic battlegrounds, can we get some access to PvP gear? I mean, PvP is supposed to be about skill expression, right? So us getting the gear isn't going to hurt anything. We're not going to mess up your cooldown trading mode by guys like me getting my gear. Okay, those high-rated guys are still going to stomp everybody. And they love to do it. They love to make ults and go stop noobs for content. So let them have it. But for the rest of us out here that just want to get our gear and play our random battlegrounds, can we do that, please? Is there some reason that anyone can explain to me why I can't fill my vault up doing random and epic battlegrounds? I mean, your top-rated players will tell you that at the highest level, there's tons of cheating, there's tons of scripting, there's tons of win trading. I mean, video after, these are 2 months, 3 months old. I mean, that whole cooldown trading community, it's so important to them to get that magic number and that title that they'll cheat, they'll script, they'll win trade. I mean, Vinny, I love my Vinny. Look how handsome. Huh? I don't love my Vinny? I see this guy in the food court. He's getting a big Oklahoma right there. Get the fuck out of my way. I don't love my Vinny. And he's telling you, dude, it's full of cheaters and, ragers. It's an awful community. I don't want any part of it. I just want to get my Conquest gear. Okay, they can have it, and they can be super duper gladiators for the rest of their life, and it's so impressive to them. But why are you forcing casual players to play into this? I don't understand. This is an awful, awful community. And again, it's really weird. I always point this out that at the highest level, you've got guys like Big Daddy Do, Aegis, Venruki. Back in the day when I came up, we had my sweet, I can't even talk about it, my Stoopsy. Love this guy's content. We all do. And he's a beacon in the community, and he's calling it out, and I appreciate that. The only thing that I'm asking for, they're not going to do anything about this, because if they were going to, he wouldn't have to make a new video about it every month. They're not going to address their shit community. What they can do, though, is they can allow players like me, who are still paying their $15 a month, not to have to participate in it. This is me right here, baby. I just want to cruise around, do my fishing, hit my dailies, and play a little PvP. I love the music in Dragonflight. Isn't it so good? Feel the wind blowing through you. I don't know. Dude, no one makes worlds like the Blizz dev team. Truly. Just come in here with my crew and get to whooping these Hordies' asses. No one's sweating. No one's raging. And we lose battlegrounds all the time, especially on the Alliance side. It's gotten a little better these days. But boy, I've been out here playing Alliance since, let me tell you what it was like in BFA. With all the bots. Although I'll tell you, the bots are pretty damn good. And a lot better than the players sometimes. And they sure don't bitch as much as the players. That's for damn sure. I know some of you guys have suggested that I get a cooldown tracker so I can track the other cooldowns. What do I tell you? I'm not going to track other people's cooldowns. I'm going to do it in cooldown tracking mode, but I don't want to have to do it in here.
Light guide our blades.
Indeed. Look at the Charger. Look at the T-Mog on the Charger rolling in with my boys. This is what I love about Warcraft. Go ahead, stud. Give him the summer, give him the freedom, and let him rock. Let my boy right there. You're good, Drake. You're good, Drake. I don't really like the way they look, but I'm still on my team. I got your back. I should probably I was wondering why my trinket wasn't working, because I haven't put my new trinket in. That would explain that. We're just keeping it up, keeping the pace up. Here comes the Lightforge Racer. You see it coming down? Oh, he used his shield. That was pretty good. We're just going to keep it up. Go, Warrior. Go, Warrior. I see you. I see you, Shining King. This Warrior just gets it. These are the Warriors that I like. Give him that. I'm going to keep giving it to him. I feed the hand that's hot. And I like the one, what I tell you, I like horses you got to put reins on, not spurs. And this Warrior knows how to play it. Come in here and gets to it like a wrecking ball. Something you got to deal with, Hordies. Look at that. I just had an awesome time. Not one cooldown tracked other than my own. Boom. Did a Blizzard dev or someone get hurt by a casual PvPer at some time? I don't get why we don't get any incentives, any rewards. You can't get T-Mogs for doing random battlegrounds every season. They give the Twitchies and the cooldown traders new shit every season, but people that just want to random and play epics get nothing. And I just don't understand that. Because again, I think WoW PvP is without peer. It's what keeps bringing me back to the game. But I don't think cooldown trading mode is that much fun. It's especially not a lot of fun for your healers, and your queue times will tell you that. You just allow every class to have a ranged interrupt, a ranged stun, 65 different gap closers. Everybody's got 2 charges of everything, and you don't balance the game consistently enough to stay on top of it. Furthermore, you allow your community just to act awful, and yeah, you put out some bans and stuff, but they're mostly just slaps on the wrist. I shouldn't have to go through 2 hours of getting told to kill myself, and that all these other horrible names that I got, even this week I got that shit, just so I can get my Conquest gear. But it makes absolutely no sense to me how the entire PvP and the vault and everything is dedicated to a community that even your top players will tell you is full of man-children. But those of us who just want to log on and go bash skulls and have some fun, we get nothing. And I'm begging you for Season 4, can you please remove the Conquest cage? Okay. I don't want to be locked in here with these guys. I'll gladly give it up if I can fill my vault up just by doing some random and epic battlegrounds and get my gear. I promise you, cooldown traders, you won't have to tolerate my bad play ever again. Okay, so don't blame me. You got to blame Blizzard for forcing me to play a game mode that I don't want to put the time into to learn how to get better, really. I don't want to get to the high level of PvP because even the guys at the high level tell you exactly what that community is made of. And again, there's gems in there. There's, a lot of great players who have really tried to build a community and have called it out. Apparently, we can't make any balance changes before Arena World Championships because that would mess up, again, the cooldown traders. So we have to let all the imbalances exist until the cooldown trading championship occurs so that we can finally get some changes for the rest of us peasants, right? Because our $15 is apparently not as good as theirs. But do not be troubled, my Oklahoma gang, for we shall reach out to the light and pray for the Blizzard dev team. Holy and blessed light, we call upon you this day to open the eyes of the Blizzard dev team, that they will truly free the Conquest. And those of us who just want to play random and epic battlegrounds and run around and do fun shit like fishing can fill our vault and get our Conquest without having to be thrown in a cage with the botting, scripting, cheating, toddler-esque man-children that make up the cooldown trading mode community. Amen.